So the first one we're going to ask, what would it look like if your work was trying to extract value? And then what might make you do that? And then articulate a principle that would prevent it, that would check it. So these
Oh,
are,
so
yeah, so these are principles we can say, when I feel like someone's stealing my work, don't steal work. That's a principle. Don't steal other people's work. Um,
okay.
so we want some basic principles that we can collect that can help us interact in a way that everyone shows up.
Right. Go back to that. Yeah. What would your work look like if you were trying to extract value?
Right.
Okay.
So, I mean, the important thing to realize is that you have to extract value to survive. Every species does, every individual does. And so it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's something to be aware of. And if you only are existing at that level, you're not going to get the reciprocity that you need to evolve a system. Um, Parasites act that way, right? And actually, they cause change by, they cause the need for innovation. So what I'd like to have you do is, if you want to write your principles that you came up with, if you came up with any principles to prevent the extract value mindset in your groups as you're working, or in yourself, any principles you came up with that could prevent um, members of your group from extracting value. And for me, I'm thinking, like, I've been in groups where people have taken my work and presented it as their own and things like that. And it's caused me to disengage. And so those are the kinds of things I want to highlight so that we can stay engaged and we can just help one another stay in the game. Or also we can identify people that are just trying to extract value and prevent that. Those are great. And the other thing I noticed, a lot of you already have principles that are really juicy. So it occurred to John and I that we should harvest these principles from all of us and offer them to One World. So you can write those in the chat, or we thought we would create a document for that for our whole community. I think that would be really valuable.
Yep. That'll be one of our first co-creations from our radical collaboration. Will be amalgam of the different principles
Yeah,
that are guiding our behavior in pursuit of our purposes and missions.
yeah. I think
Can
that's
I
very,
ask a question?
yeah.
It's sort of also just from the breakout group too, but in some ways, I guess I'm just not sure what my principles are, or what we decided. We were kind of in
Yeah.
this sort of place
Yeah.
of discovery, is about how far we got in the 5 minutes. Um, and I think the closest thing, but I don't want to speak for Kelly, but I feel, and Charles was in our group too. She was kind of speaking to this place of extracting, and also the staying open piece. But I almost wonder, and we kind of got to a point of like that sweet spot between, where it's like, needing to extract, and also Charles bringing up how great it is to extract for the good of the whole. But I
Mhm.
almost see kind of like an infinity symbol, and if we can stay somewhere in the middle, that is, and I feel this sometimes with people that I feel interested in collaborating with, but that place where someone is speaking to what they want, but also are still humble and open to not knowing. But there's sort of a place somewhere in between. And I don't know if that's a principle, but I guess I just wanted to say it out loud.
Yeah.
Or a transition space where maybe if I'm caught thinking, well, how the heck am I actually gonna have enough money to do the da things that I'm trying to do with the Garden of Joy? And then going into that dance, or to call in the hummingbird from the prophecy, and to be in to dance, is that a principle, to be in a place of wonder? Or how
Beautiful.
to even get to that place that you were talking about, Tamsin, of like, you wake up in the morning and you're like, the possibility, like how to actually get there if you're still kind of like
I don't
stressed.
have enough. Yeah. the
Right, or
scarcity,
person from
scarcity mindset. And then we talked about, you know, what would put you in that mode? It's scarcity and the perception of scarcity.
but is that it? Are any of those principles that I just said or that Charles and Kelly
Yes.
were discovering? Okay. Okay.
I think that's beautiful. And also you can ask, how would I extract value in a way that evolves potential? Because both are true, right? You know, you have to get paid and you have to have enough, but how can you do it in a way that evolves the system? Yeah, that's kind of profound. Okay. And does anyone want to say anything about the conditions that might put you in that mode?
Navigating our moods.
Aha.
So they call it the affective dimension of learning, the emotional, attitudinal, motivational.
Yeah, and actually I think what you're getting at too is the reactivity that we have. And so there might be principles around that, like how can we grow our sphere of consideration and our locus of control? You know, if you think things are just happening to you and you have no control over them, that's going to put you in that mode. But if you are, yeah.
That's where that power of a pause, like when we do the transformance, something about learning how to breathe, you know, just one of the principles for me has come to be to, like my daughter talked about her managing herself off of her nervous system, a guidance from that dimension of oneself and our way of being with each other and with ourselves.
Erica.
Yeah, Tamsin, one of the principles that we're working with, well, we're working based on the 4 agreements. But in addition to that, during my fast and meditation, it came to me to release all control and to do not own anything. Everything that we're doing is free for all of you to do. It's a gift to humanity and it's a gift to everyone that we work with. So if you find something that we're doing that works for you, please grab hold of it and use it. You will not offend me.
Thank you.
Will not offend Sally or Scott because we're working in the collective consciousness of the whole of all that is for the highest good for all concerned. And that's our motivating principle.
Thank you.
I hope that may answer some questions or at least some food for thought. Thank you.
Thank you. Jack, you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's a little bit like John's. What might make me do something would be if something had to get done and doing it in a good way wasn't working, you know, like climate change. I mean, like everything else, you want to do in a good way, but the earth is going to burn up. And the good way of doing it, the non-extractive way of doing it isn't working, then you might want to consider anything that works.